Bro, most men will never admit this, but they don't actually understand women. They listen to words, but they miss the emotions behind them. They react to what she says instead of observing what she feels. And because of that, they lose attraction without even realizing why. This video is not about blaming women. It's about understanding dynamics most men choose to ignore. When you understand female nature, you stop overreacting. You stop chasing validation. You stop arguing, and you start leading. Attraction isn't built by begging, explaining, or convincing. It's built through strength, emotional control, and clarity. If you're ready to hear the truth most men avoid, stay until the end. Most men make one critical mistake. When a woman is emotional, they respond with logic. She says she feels hurt. You explain why she shouldn't. She says she's upset. You give solutions. And in your mind, you're being rational, mature, calm. But here's the truth. Emotions are not problems to be solved. They are experiences to be understood. For many women, feelings come first. Logic comes after. That means when she says something in an emotional state, she's not always presenting a final conclusion. She's expressing a feeling in the moment. If you attack the logic, she feels unheard. If you dismiss the emotion, she feels invalidated. And once a woman feels unheard, attraction slowly starts to fade. High-value men understand this. They don't panic. They don't argue immediately. They don't try to win the debate. They pause. They observe the emotion beneath the words. Instead of saying, "That doesn't make sense," they say, "I see you're upset. Talk to me." And here's the powerful part. When a woman feels emotionally understood, her logic often returns naturally. Calm energy creates calm responses. But when you fight emotion with logic, you create resistance. This doesn't mean you agree with everything. It means you control the frame. Emotional intelligence is not weakness. It's leadership. And the man who understands that moves differently. Let me tell you something. It's not about what you say. It's about how you make her feel when you say it. You can have the perfect lines, the perfect response, the perfect explanation. But if your energy feels insecure, she will feel it. Bro, women are extremely sensitive to emotional shifts. Not because they overthink, but because they observe subconsciously. If you're nervous, she feels it. If you're trying too hard, she feels it. If you're afraid to lose her, she definitely feels it. And the moment your energy says, "I need you more than you need me," the dynamic changes. Here's where most men get it wrong. Bro, they think attraction is built through convincing, through explaining themselves, through proving their value. But attraction responds to calm certainty. A man who speaks slowly. A man who doesn't rush to reply. A man who doesn't overreact when she tests him. That energy communicates strength without saying a word. Bro, when she says, "Do whatever you want," and you panic, she's not reacting to your decision. She's reacting to your instability. But when you stay grounded, relaxed, unbothered, now she feels safe. Energy is leadership. You don't need to dominate. You don't need to shout. You don't need to impress. You just need control over yourself. Because the man who controls his emotions controls the atmosphere. And when you control the atmosphere, bro, you control the dynamic. There's something most men misunderstand about strength. Bro, they think strength is dominance. They think it's control. They think it's being loud or intimidating. But real strength is stability. A woman doesn't feel safe around chaos. She feels safe around certainty. Bro, when your mood changes every time something doesn't go your way, that's instability. When you get jealous easily, that's insecurity. When you lose control during arguments, that's weakness disguised as intensity. Strength is emotional control. It's the ability to stay calm when she's upset. It's the ability to lead when things feel uncertain. It's the ability to say no without fear of losing her. Let me give you something important. Bro, women are naturally drawn to men who feel grounded. Not perfect, not emotionless. Grounded. A grounded man doesn't beg. He doesn't chase when disrespected. He doesn't fold under pressure. And because of that, he feels safe. Safety isn't about money alone. It's not just about muscles. It's about predictability in your character. If she knows you won't explode, if she knows you won't collapse, if she knows you won't disappear emotionally, she relaxes. And when she relaxes, attraction grows. Bro, a storm doesn't attract stability. Stability attracts everything. Be the mountain, not the wind. Because when you become emotionally solid, you stop trying to impress. And when you stop trying, that's when you become powerful. Bro, you cannot negotiate desire. You can negotiate responsibilities. You can negotiate boundaries. But you cannot negotiate attraction. A lot of men try. They explain why they're a good guy. They list what they provide. They try to convince her to see their value. But attraction doesn't respond to resumes. Bro, it responds to presence. You can't talk someone into feeling something. Either she feels it or she doesn't. And when a man senses attraction fading, what does he do? He overtexts. He overexplains. He overgives, thinking effort will restore chemistry. But effort without emotional leverage feels desperate. Bro, desire grows in space, not pressure. When you start chasing harder, you lower your perceived value. When you stay composed, you increase curiosity. This doesn't mean you play games. It means you understand human psychology. People value what feels rare. People desire what feels self-contained. If your happiness depends on her response, you've already lost frame. But if you're grounded, focused, and moving forward with or without her, now she feels it. Attraction isn't built by convincing someone you're worthy. It's built by becoming someone who doesn't need approval. Bro, the moment you stop trying to force attraction is the moment you become attractive. Let's be honest. Sometimes she will test you. Not always consciously. Not always maliciously. But it happens. She might cancel last minute. She might question your decision. She might push your patience just a little. And most men react emotionally. They get defensive. They get angry. Or worse, they immediately try to please. But here's what you need to understand. Bro, a boundary test is not about the surface issue. It's about checking your stability. She's observing. Do you stand by your word? Do you fold under pressure? Do you change your values to keep her? If every time she pushes, you retreat, respect slowly decreases. Not because she's cruel, but because inconsistency feels unsafe. A strong man doesn't overreact. He also doesn't overaccommodate. If she cancels without respect, you calmly adjust your availability. If she disrespects a boundary, you calmly reinforce it. No shouting, no drama, no emotional explosion. Bro, the key word is calm. Calm confidence communicates. I like you, but I don't need you. And that energy changes everything. When you hold boundaries without anger, you show strength. When you enforce standard without fear, you show self-respect. And self-respect is attractive. Remember this, bro. Love without boundaries becomes resentment. Attraction without respect becomes temporary. But when you stand firm, peacefully, you become unforgettable. Bro, here's something most men get wrong. They think romance is a foundation. Flowers, sweet words, constant reassurance. And don't get me wrong, those things matter. But they're not the core. Security is. A woman can enjoy romance, but she builds long-term attachment on stability. Bro, security isn't just about money. It's emotional security. It's knowing you won't disappear when things get hard. It's knowing you won't explode when stressed. It's knowing you have direction in life. Romance creates butterflies. Security creates peace. And peace is addictive. Let me explain something important. Bro, if you're unpredictable with your emotions, if your goals change every month, if your confidence depends on her validation, she may like you, but she won't fully relax with you. And when a woman can't relax, she can't fully attach. Security comes from consistency, consistent mindset, consistent discipline, consistent leadership. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be perfect, but you need direction. Bro, when a man knows where he's going, he becomes attractive without trying. Because now she feels like she's joining a journey, not babysitting potential. Romance excites her, security anchors her, and long-term attraction needs both. But if you had to choose one to master first, bro, choose stability. Because the man who feels safe to be with is the man who stays winning. Listen carefully when she comes to you with a problem. Your instinct is to solve it. You analyze it. You break it down. You offer the fastest solution, because that's how men operate. But most of the time, she's not asking for a solution. She's asking to be understood. Bro, when she says, I had a terrible day, and you respond with, well, next time just do this. She doesn't feel supported. She feels dismissed. Not because your advice is wrong, but because you skipped the emotional step. Understanding comes before fixing. If you want to stand out, bro, do this instead. Pause. Look at her. Say, that sounds frustrating. Oh, I can see why that upset you. Simple words, but powerful, because now she feels seen. And when someone feels seen, they soften. Here's the deeper truth. Bro, if you always try to fix her emotions, you position yourself as superior. But if you first understand her emotions, you position yourself as safe. And safety builds connection. This doesn't mean you never give advice. It means you earn the right to give advice. Once she feels understood, she'll often ask, what do you think I should do? That's when your leadership matters. Bro, being emotionally intelligent doesn't make you weak. It makes you rare. Most men rush to solve. Few men take time to understand. Be the rare one, because the man who can control himself, understand her, and lead calmly is the man she never forgets. Bro, if you made it this far, you're already different. Most men don't want to hear uncomfortable truths. They'd rather blame. They'd rather complain. They'd rather stay confused. But you chose to understand. And that's power. Female nature isn't something to fight. It's something to understand. When you understand emotions, you stop reacting. When you understand attraction, you stop chasing. When you understand boundaries, you stop begging. And when you understand yourself, everything changes. Bro, this isn't about controlling anyone. It's about mastering your frame. Because at the end of the day, the strongest man in the room is the one who controls his emotions. Not the loudest, not the richest, not the most aggressive, the calmest. Work on your stability. Work on your discipline. Work on your purpose. And watch how everything shifts. If this video gave you clarity, hit like, subscribe, and comment stable if you're choosing growth over ego. Bro, become the man they feel safe with, and you'll never have to chase again.